Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical, your source for Second Amendment news, gun reviews, and more. We have the first significant positive things happening as far as fighting the ATF's pistol brace rule. This last couple days has been very interesting, and I'm sure the next couple days are also going to be very interesting. We are down to the last couple days before the grace period, the amnesty compliance period comes to an end. And finally, at the last minute, some things are happening. So make sure you're subscribed, and I'm going to tell you all about it. So we talked about how Director Dettelbach swore in front of Congress under oath that you could just remove the brace from the business end of the gun and that you would then be in compliance. Well, the ATF has put out a statement that that is not true, that it is as we initially thought, where you have to destroy the brace or make it so that you have to permanently modify it so you can't reattach it, which would mean a few different things. A lot of people are putting like smooth pistol buffer tubes on that, aren't 6-position adjustable like a standard buffer tube. So the ATF right there does what they normally do, where they make things vague and they contradict themselves. But maybe we won't even have to worry about that. The whole thing with constructive intent is kind of weird to me because forever you've been able to own AR pistols, and if you had stocks, rifle stocks in your house, it didn't necessarily mean that you had an SBR under constructive intent. But now they're basically saying that if you have something like this and you have a pistol brace, which they're basically classifying as stocks, then that is constructive intent to create an SBR. Very weird when they said that they don't regulate pistol braces. But that's not really the point of today's video. That was just something that happened since last week's full video. And so I needed to discuss it for a second. Are you a member of the FPC, the Firearms Policy Coalition? If you are, good news for you. The FPC was granted a preliminary injunction in the Mock v. Garland case. And it's not just the FPC, it's also Maxim Defense and an individual plaintiff. And they did get a preliminary injunction, which this is a big deal. Judges don't generally grant preliminary injunctions just willy-nilly. This is something that is like, it's kind of a special thing. It means that even before looking at the case as a whole, that the judge thinks that they have a good probability of winning on the merits of the case. So that's a really good thing. Now, was it a nationwide preliminary injunction, which is what we were looking for? No, it was not. So it doesn't necessarily mean that me or you or anyone else in particular is free from this pistol brace rule quite yet, but they asked for clarification, and the judge said that it did include that people were enjoined, or the ATF was enjoined from enforcing this pistol brace rule against the FPC and its members and Maxim Defense and its customers. So, unfortunately, all of my pistol braces are SB Tactical, not Maxim Defense. But if you have a Maxim pistol brace, you don't have to worry about that, at least for now. If you're a member of the FPC, which I urge everyone to be, and I feel like they're going to have a lot more members soon, because from the legal minds that I've been looking into, it doesn't really say that you had to have already been a member of FPC. So I think a lot of people are going to be joining the Firearms Policy Coalition because, as far as we can tell so far, if you are a member of the FPC, at this point, you don't have to worry about the pistol brace rule. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. This is standard YouTube thing. I am just telling you what I have found out in my research and what I believe to be true. There are people much more qualified than me that have basically come to these conclusions. And that's where I'm getting them from. So this is pretty big, especially coming down to the last couple days. A lot of people that probably were wondering if they had to spend money modifying their firearms into a stupid firearm with no brace, or participate in the amnesty registration scheme. If they're members of the FPC, or if their braces are Maxim Defense braces that they purchased, well, at this point, you don't have to worry about it. Now, the case still has to go through this whole thing, and it could still go either way, but things are looking up. And we have other cases that still might have similar things happening in these next couple of days before the end of the month. There's also a GOA case. We're looking for temporary restraining orders and preliminary injunctions. We're looking for a national preliminary injunction that would basically get us all off the hook until these court proceedings have finished. And so hopefully we get that. We did not get that in the Mock v. Garland, the FPC Maxim defense case, but it actually does include quite a few people. Like I said, if you're a member of FPC or a customer of Maxim Defense, things are looking pretty good for you right now. So FPC is already something that we should all be members of anyway. They do fight for our rights, and they are pretty based. If I've seen some of the things they've said and done, like, I'm all for what they do. And so it's just a great excuse to join them, especially because then you don't really have to worry about the ATF coming after you. And my other thought with this whole thing is, how do you have a rule where some people, it's a felony and a violation of the Gun Control Act and the National Firearms Act to have a pistol-braced firearm, and some people at this point is perfectly okay? That's not how laws are supposed to work. I'm not saying it's not how they do work at some point, and this isn't really even a law, it's a rule, or it's a reinterpretation of the definition of a rifle under the NFA and GCA, which those are laws. So we can get as technical as we want to or not right now, but there shouldn't be where some people are in the clear and some people are looking at federal felonies and 10 years in prison for the same thing. And so I think this looks good for us. I think most judges are going to look at it that way. Hopefully this is the beginning of the end for the ATF pistol brace rule. This is what I thought would happen 4 months ago. Actually, I thought even better things would happen in the last 4 months, and nothing did. Things were starting to look pretty dire, but things are finally looking up. They're finally getting to some of the stuff right at the last minute. They just wanted to keep us all on our toes, I guess. I don't know why it took until now for any of this stuff to finally get looked at and some decisions to be made, but I'm glad that it is happening. It is an exciting little period in this pistol brace saga. Hopefully things keep going our way. If they do, I will upload shorts. I will keep you guys posted. And as usual, on these Sundays, I will give you full videos breaking down all this, as well as my standard Tuesday and Friday videos, going to the range, testing products, having fun, enjoying the Second Amendment and the firearms lifestyle. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical, share this video, and leave me a comment on what you think about all this. Tell me if you think I'm right, or if you have a better, more accurate way of looking at it, in your opinion or anyone else's. I love to answer you guys' comments. I like interacting with the Second Amendment community. So let me know what you think down below. I appreciate it. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.